What's up, y'all? This is your boy Akranash here, back with another video. Again, I am on DC Universe Online, doing some PvP for y'all. I got 3 matches here. One is the first match against a Rage DPS. The next one, not sure. It was a lot of random people. No, one was Hard Light. I think what it was Ice. I think I'm not sure. And then the last fight is me with my boy. I'm always lost. Him doing some sorts of healing, and me DPS as always, but this isn't my original loadout. If you guys haven't saw already, um, before I start this, I basically got so bored in the game to the point where I was like, you know what, I'll use some iconic powers. So yeah, basically 3 fights you'll see of me using iconic powers. Enjoy that. But I didn't want to talk to you guys about PvP for a little bit. Now, I just got done finishing watching Super Patriots PvP history video, and watching that video made me remember of how good DC was, or why I kept playing DC Universe Online, and PvP was the main reason. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had some fun in PvE here and there, but it wasn't as fun as PvP during the time. So I'm just gonna get to some of this now. Um, Back then, when I first started playing the game, obviously, when you start PvP and it's hard at first, and you just gotta keep training and everything. You gotta keep fighting just to get better. And I have no problem with that, cause you gotta grind your gear, grind your skill points, and I had no problem with doing that. Cause whenever I did lose, I was like, you know what, I want to be just like that guy. I want to be just like him, be OP. I want to have all my gear, all my mods, all my skill points, have my own OPS loadout, be in a top PvP league, and do all that. And for the most part, I was doing that in PvP, because during the time, PvP was amazing. Like around season 1 and season 2, PvP was all time high. I loved it. Obviously, there were some things that you didn't love, like tactical mods. Tactical mods did make the game a little bit unfair for some people, but obviously it was just another thing to grind for, and people adapted. But yeah, for far as I know, PvP was at an all-time high. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am a veteran in the game. I did start playing in 2011, but I did take a break for a little bit. And when I took a break, it was around the time when I think it was when Hard Light or Electric came out. And when I came back to the game, it was around when Quantum was just about to come out, like maybe like a month or two before Quantum came out. So when I came back to the game, after a few months not playing, or a year not playing, it was no, not a year, almost half a year not playing. I saw that so many changes came to the game. The first changes I saw was the changes to fire and ice. Obviously, that's noticeable when you see animations. I was taking it back to the point I was like, oh my god, that is sexy. But when I stepped into PvP again, I saw so many. I was like, wow, like a lot of stuff wasn't here when I was playing the game at the time. Cause I am one of the OG players. Like back then, I was one of the players that hanged out around Robinson Park in Gotham. I was one of those players. We do the open world event in in Gotham PvP open world, or yeah, open world PvP around Robinson Park. I was one of those people. I was ice tanking slash ice DPS, and mostly ice tanking, but I didn't have tank gear. I was more like a hybrid tank, so still learning the game at the time, so bear with me. But I was one of those people. I remember it perfectly. My first character I ever made that was successful like that was Purple Moon 2. And yeah, he's not here around today, so that character is deleted, gone forever. But yeah, I'm one of those players. When I came back to the game, the power I chose when I came back was fire, and automatically, you know, I was doing my thing, getting my CR up and stuff, and I saw how it was a lot easier to get my CR up and skill points up when I came back, because like I know back then, you in order to like get your CR up and stuff, you had to have certain gear to keep it up like that. Because I know CR back then, when you put on certain gear, it would either jump up or jump straight down. Someone like it does today, or like the equipped CR, but back then, like for equipped CR, like just plain CR, it would go up or down depending on what gear you have. But that was that. But when I came back to the game and saw all these changes to PvP, I was just like, oh my god, you got so many things changing. So many people are just stronger than I thought they were, and it was ridiculous. But in the end, it made me want to grind out. It made me want to, grind like they did. But for the most part, in when I did PvP, I was fire tanking, just like Smile Before Death. I took his loadout and stuff, and I know I could have created my own loadout, like most people did. Because during the time season 1, people have their own loadouts and stuff, and that's when people were creative with loadouts for PvE and PvP. But PvE is another video. Oh, this is the second fight. But he ran it away. Alright then. But yeah, season 1, when I came back, when content came out, obviously things were really OP. Some weapons were still OP actually. I know rifle was OP at the time, just the tap for block breaking. Same thing with dual wield, you tap triangle or whatever it was. PC, I'm sorry, PC people. I don't know PC like that. But you would tap and block break. Same thing with brawling. Same thing with two-handed. I really grow fond of those block breaks, man. I miss those animations. But moving on. Obviously, power DLCs and powers keep coming back in. Things are fine for a while. They fix a few bugs here and there. Then around the time Rage came out, and like the beginning of 2013, right? It was in January 2013, I believe, right? Season 2 was just about to come out. It came out like maybe like what, a few weeks or a month after Rage came out, and then that's when these devs started wanting to make all these changes to weapons, and later on they would do changes to powers. And Weapon Mastery at first, it was Weapon Mastery when it came out. It was good. Everyone loved it. The only problem was that it didn't support the gear we had at the time. But when Season 3 came out, obviously that changed. People were able to resist more of the damage from Weapon Mastery, but I'll get into that a little bit later. And then for the most part, Season 2 was fine. Obviously, RPS system was still here. Loved it. Tactical mods, they didn't increase the, what is it? They didn't make the tactical mods or home turf in general a bit more powerful until, what was it? I think until Hollow Powers Part 2 came out, I believe, or it was, yeah, around that time. But yeah, but after they made certain changes, I know the one thing. This is what happened, okay? The game was going down the wrong path when max damage came out, right when Season 3 was about to come out. I remember perfectly. Max damage came out and it was out for a day or two, because I know when it came out, people were hitting so hard to the point where they were one-shotting. Even with blocks, it was ridiculous. It made healers OP, trolls OP, and tanks OP. And obviously DPS is more OP. It was ridiculous. So a day or two after later, Season 3 comes out. And obviously a lot of people didn't like it. The one thing they did like was having supercharges at zero in arenas or beginning of scrimmages. That's fine. And the infinite goal. That's what people liked. What people didn't like was that new players or new players like from level 10 all the way up to level 30 if you didn't have gear at the time would get buffed to 96 gear. No one liked that. No one liked the fact that rage got nerfed to the point where you barely got any heals from it. And no one liked the fact that there was no more RPS system or Road Pacific gear. All the gear that you guys worked for, all basically your whole DC career gone, like that. That was season 3. That was all season 3. GU41 killed the game completely. That was season 3. The day season 3 came out, every veteran PvPer, every top PvPer knows when season 3 came out. GU41 was the worst. And it's still like that today, but obviously changes did come to the game that made it worse. Now, stepping back back then, all the way back then. One topic that's still going on today is blue immunities. Now, when I came back to the game around, again, when Quantum was about to come out, at first I didn't really notice that blue immunities were here, because they weren't as broken as it is today. Because I think, like, once you countered somebody, like you broke them, or you blocked their combo, they would flash blue for maybe a second, for like 1 or 2 seconds, and then it's going like that. That's how fast it was back then. That's how even it was back then. It was, very balanced with the blue immunities. Come season 3, what was it, around the beginning? No, not the beginning. Around mid 2015, they did something to the immunities or something like that, where it was lasting too long, or if that was just a bug. I have no clue. I don't go on the forums like that, because I'm not one of those people. But I know for the fact that blue immunities were just bad. Now back then it was there to help players or beginner players not get destroyed by skilled players like me or other veterans in the game or other skilled PvPers. And for the most part, it did give them a chance, but what you gotta understand, what they did in season 3 made things worse for them. If you're buffing them to almost R stats, they're gonna get destroyed either way. Now, what made PvP a lot more balanced back then was when people who were level 10 to like around level 29 had their own PvP in general. They had their own thing of PvP. It was Australia, Star Labs, and Moon. That was fun back then. I'm not gonna lie. I love low level PvP in that back then. It was so fun, and that was how they learned PvP. If they like it, they kept going. If they didn't like it, they didn't touch it again, unless they wanted feats. But that's how they learned back then. It's not like today where where a low level comes in, not knowing what the fuck they do, and then just, get destroyed. That's not how PvP was intended to be, and it shouldn't be like that. But going back to the future now, obviously, when season 3 was out, they started doing all these different advanced mechanics for powers. It was gadgets, then mental, then rage and ice, and all these different things, and the game just got so broken to the point where it became pay to win. And then obviously they did something to the weapons at the time where people were one-shotting, and people know that, or at least I call it the one-shot era. And that era was horrible. Oh man, I hated that era, man. I hated it. I hated the era. The one shot era was horrible. You know, it cut me. It the Share Factory cut me off a little bit. Sorry. But going back to it, the one shot era, I hated it, and so did every other PvPer out there. What I'm basically trying to say is, because I know I'm not making any sense in this video, but you know, all I know is that PvP should not be like this, like you see in the video. Healers shouldn't be OP like this. Tanks, like fire tanks and atomic tanks, they should not be as OP like they are right now. Okay, they need to go back to the way things were, man. We need Road Pacific gear. We need the RPS system back. Shoot, I would even mind for movement debuffs back. Back then, I know, I'm not gonna lie, I hated them. But now, after having this PvP for almost 2 years, 2 3 years, whatever it is, I miss it, man. Old school PvP, we need it. We need it back, and we need it now. The way this game's going is going downhill faster than these devs can realize. We need the old school Dcuo back in general. I guarantee you, if they were to do something where they would have put Dcuo back to where it was, like around in 2013, for a month, I guarantee you, all the vets would come back for that 1 month. I know that, but all the people who say they're good today because of how the game is right now, they wouldn't be. I know damn well they wouldn't be. All these new cats in PvP that say they're good because they're this certain power or do this, they wouldn't be today. I know damn well. Most of these top PvPers today, they cheese. They're OP powers, and on top of that, they talk trash about everything they do. And if they lose, they make up excuses for it. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Some people were like that back then, but the game was balanced back then. Okay? It was balanced. It's not like today where it's like super unbalanced. It wasn't a pay-to-win game back then. Obviously, yeah, people switched powers everything back then, but it wasn't like today where people just switch powers almost daily today. People didn't do that back then. Like back then, you can go to a power, you'll stay that power for maybe 3 to 6 months, and if you're dedicated, a year or more. Now, if you're like Orbit, you'll stay at power for almost 2 years and then switch to Ice or Rage. I love you, Orbit. But just the game is gonna be like this. I miss it. I miss the game how it used to be. Now, I did talk to one of my league mates, and they say I am too much into the past of Dcuo, and I'm not gonna lie, I am. I'm dedicated to the past of Dcuo because that's when the game was at its all-time high. PvE was fun, even though I didn't really, even though I really wasn't a PvE like that, and PvP was absolutely fun. Queues were faster back then. People were scrimming left and right, whether it's 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, 4s, 5s, or 8s. It didn't matter. Just queues were faster back then. Now it's like it can take almost 30 minutes to get a queue. Shoot, if you were to queue 8v8s, that shit could take almost hours to get a queue. That's how dead PvP is now. It's not like it used to be. Back then, you were to queue 8v8s, you can get that shit within maybe 30 minutes at most. The fastest, maybe 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. 1v1s, you queue up for that once, bing, 3 seconds later, bing, there you go, queue in. This, what do you guys think, man? This, what do y'all think? Should the game be like this? Pay to win, unbalanced? You know, people talking trash and making excuses, going to the OP power just to be the best. Should the game be like that? Like just another fighting game? Like people are saying this game is becoming to be? Or should it go back to the way it used to be, where it was an actual RPG game? Where people were creative with loadouts? Where the drama was at a minimum. It didn't get to a personal level or go to YouTube like that. Where people enjoyed PvE and PvP, where when Fight Club was really fun, obviously heroes ganking and stuff, but it was still Fight Club. It still got fun. When there were a lot more PvP wars, when the PvP phase was actually more active than it is today, where skill points mattered, where gear mattered, where grinding mattered and was fun, where it took mods to actually raise your CR. Just, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I know you guys ask me like, well then, if you don't like the game how it is right now, why don't you just leave? Well, unlike other MMO games, Dcuo is one of a kind. This is like the one MMO game where the combat system is this good. Well, sort of. It's not as good as back then, but it's a one of a kind game. You can't just quit this game and not expect to come back. Now, if you do quit the game, I know it's hard because you'll think about it here and then. It's like, oh damn, remember how Dcuo used to be? Remember playing with these people, doing this, that, and this. In the end, you come back to the game because like basically once you play Dcuo, you become loyal to it. Man, that's just how it is with this game. I don't know. I just wish these devs can just listen to us specifically, like listen to the people who know what this game should have, what this game should really be. You know? I know they're trying, and I'm not trying to give them any hate or anything, but this game just needs to go back to the way it used to be. It needs to, or else this game will die completely. And trust me, they can't take out PvP, because a lot of people want that. A lot of these top PvEers or the people that don't want PvP to be around, they want to take it out, but they can't do it as an MMO game. All MMOs have stuff, but the video is coming to an end. I hope y'all enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this whole video, and tell me your experience about Dcuo, like what it should be, what do you want to keep, what do you want to leave, and yeah, I'll catch y'all next time. Your boy Akron Ash, out. Peace.